What is up, everybody? I figured I'd make a video today talking about my G35 back here, going over everything, a whole build breakdown. I get a lot of questions asked every time I post a picture of it online and stuff like that. So instead of me, you know, commenting the same stuff every time and things like that, I decided I want to just make a video. So when people ask, I can just send them the link to this video, and they can skim through it and find whatever information that they want to find. So let's get into it. Alright, we'll start with the outside of the car, the exterior. We'll start off with, it's a 2003 Infiniti G35 sedan. It came factory with a manual 6-speed VQ35DE, because it's the first iteration. It's the very first generation of the VQ in it. Alright, so we'll start off with the body and everything. This color is custom. The guy at Mako, I had it painted at Mako. I made a video about it. The guy took a hold of it. I gave him an idea of what I wanted. He mixed some colors together and created this. It is what I believe is like a Go Mango with copper pearl in it, which darkened it a little bit. You can see how in the light it lightens up and the paint flops and everything. Moving on from that, this grill, mesh grill. I get asked this all the time. I can't tell you exactly what this grill is. I bought it secondhand, used off of Facebook Marketplace. It has no markings or anything on it. It does not fit very well. I have to sit on the hood to get it to completely close the hood. It interferes with the rivets, these little rivets up here on the hood. You can see it hits the grill, makes it harder to close. I could probably drill some holes out on the grill where those rivets go and make it close a little bit better. I think I can adjust the hood latch. I just haven't felt like messing with that just yet. Yep, moving on from that, the splitter. This is just a little, it's hard to see, just a plastic splitter I got off Amazon for like $38. It doesn't really do much. You can see it flexes and stuff like that. It's just mounted to the plastic bumper. It looks alright. A little bit, not quite the look I was going for. I might change it up with something a little bit later on, but for the time being, it doesn't look bad. I'll also get some side splitters later. The headlights are halogen. I switched from the HID to halogen because I didn't want to pay $100 per bulb anytime I had to get a bulb. These I got off of carid.com. They're like $230 or something. They're the blackout. You can see the plastic's blacked out. They look pretty good. I try to keep some wax on it, make sure they don't oxidize or anything. I also put the Silver Star Ultra bulbs in them, so they have a nice white light rather than an amber color. Alright, moving on. These fender flares are off of Wish. You can also get them on eBay, Amazon. They just come from China. They're cheap. Fender flares that I had laying around came off of 240 that's in the garage there. These fenders were rolled and pulled, and so they're a little bit messed up. So before I painted it, I made the last minute decision to throw those up there, cut the fenders, put them up there. Looks better than it did before, but these are not perfect. They're not perfectly fit. You can see it has some waviness to them because they're meant to kind of fit flat. They fit a little bit better on the rear. I cut them even with the fender, sanded them down, and I cut the rear a little bit so they don't go down too far, so the tires kind of poke out a little bit. The rear, I get asked this all the time. If you look, I have trimmed around the door frame around the door. So the door is still usable. However, it does leave a little gap, a little bit of a hole there. This is a drift car, not a show car. I'm not going to put hours and hours of work of expanding foam, some filler or fiberglass and stuff like that to fill that in, because I want it to look good from about this distance, which it does. And so you can see it doesn't look terrible when you're standing back away from it. That's all I kind of wanted, as well as a little bit better tire clearance. So I cut the fenders, they are riveted on and then painted over. Alright, next up's I guess going to be the wheels. These are square. The G6 I think these are, can't remember. Go into juku.com, you'll find them. These are 18 by 9.5 with a 12 offset. They also have a 30 mil front spacer and a 25 millimeter rear spacer to fit these fender wells. They're 235 40 18 tires. You can see it has a decent stretch. Up here, Yokohamas. They're a little bit on the wider side, but still a alright stretch. So under the hood, VQ35, I got what we call a hot air intake, because I'm pulling air in right off the radiator pretty much. Just a cheap one put up there so I get a little bit more induction noises. I have the ISR long tube headers. You kind of see them down there, maybe. Kind of hard to see. ISR Y pipe and the ISR 350Z GT exhaust coming out the back here. The exhaust, I have a very heavy duty zip tie as a hanger. I use actually the flexi cuffs that police use. I cut one in half to use because they're extremely heavy duty, so I can tuck the exhaust up and cut the bumper around it so I have a little bit better clearance. As far as what size extension I use, I cannot tell you, because I cut the exhaust and I had taken some random exhaust that I had laying around and just matched it up and welded it together to make it fit properly. I just cut whatever size fit good for the tip to stick out. I can tell you it's a little bit bigger than 8 inches. It might be around like in between 9 and 10. I also have a plenum spacer. I think it's a 5/16 inch, because I'm not turbo, so I wanted a little bit more mid-range. So I went on the smaller side. 350Z radiator. I had to use zip ties to get it to hold in place, because the 350Z one is a little bit different. I was at the track, blew out the radiator. My friend that has a Z had this radiator. He lived nearby the track, so I was able to buy it from him to throw in there for half the price of a factory style one from Advance Auto. This is a Blitz radiator hose for an SR20 actually. This fitting doesn't go all the way through. It's plugged at the end. That's so I can put a water temp sensor in it, which I haven't done just yet. I do plan on doing that eventually, so I can run the gauge. That's what this hose is designed for on the SR, so you can run the water temp sensor there for your aftermarket gauge. I've made a video about my angle kit, so go on my channel, go through my videos, you can find the angle kit information. I use the FDF Fab Mantis kit. They have 2 kits. The big one's called the Mega Mantis, and the other one's called the Mantis. I call it a mini Mantis, but it's just called the Mantis kit. This is the smaller kit. So it's just the basics to get you big angle: lower control arms, compression rods, inner outer tie rods, offset tie rod spacer, and the mount for the angle. For upper control arms, instead of doing FDF, I went with the True Hearts you can see in there, because I thought you can adjust them with them on the car. You still have to remove the ball joint to take the Allen bolts loose to adjust it. With the Mantis kit and the upper control arms, adjust it all the way out, which is about where the factory control arms go. I got about -6 degrees of camber, so that's as little amount of camber as I can run in the front. But it's fine with how much angle you do and the camber gain. It works out just fine. Moving on, coilovers. Coilovers are the Rev 9 coilovers. They are essentially, from what I understand, just a Godspeed variant. I've had them on here for almost 3 years now. They're awesome coilovers. Haven't had any issues with them. I have seen 1 or 2 people out of 10 or 20 maybe have an issue with them. So it's up to you. It's $500. If you want to spend a little bit more at the ISR, BC Racing, those coilovers are really nice as well. The Godspeeds do look a little bit different. So if you don't want to trust the Rev 9, the Godspeeds might be a little bit better quality. I'm not sure. I got Godspeeds on this car. They've been up there for like 5 years, daily driving and stuff. They've been really good coilovers on that car. Again, that's an S13. This is a 1,000-pound heavier car. Rear arms are just Godspeed rear arms. Bucket delete, camber arms. You can also see I have ISR solid subframe spacers. Factory rear sway bar, Moog, I think they're Moog, sway bar end links in the rear, a welded diff, welded auto diff, so the gear ratio is a little bit different. I can't remember what it is. I also have, you can see under here, a Progress 36mm sway bar with P2M sway bar end links. Honestly, that's been an awesome upgrade. Car handles so much better with it. If I wanted to do like actual grip driving, I would put one in the rear as well. Also in the rear, go down, I have the FDF diff brace, which also braces up the tow rods and it has a jack point. I also have Super Pro polyurethane diff bushings. Just kind of hard to see without putting it on one of my lips at work. But you get the idea. Alright, and last two things. This spoiler. It's a 2015 Scion TC spoiler. Shout out to the dude on the Facebook groups that discovered the fitment of these. They fit really well. You can see it's just a little bit off the trunk on the back, but barely any at all. Fits extremely well. Looks good in my opinion. I didn't want to pay $600 for a trunk to get that look. People ask me how I mount it. So it's 3M tape holding it down. It also comes with 2 bolts. One goes right here, and the other, you can kind of see where I had drilled a hole, goes right there to bolt it in. The self tappers are mainly for looks. It had a little bit of a gap on the edge on either side of here, so I just used a couple very small self tappers to pull those edges down, so you can see it fits really tight right along the edge of the trunk all the way around. And then the last thing, someone was wondering, window tint. If you were looking for whatever percentage, the front is legal in my state, which is 35 plus or minus 3%. So it's about 32 in the front, and the rears are like 25, I think it is. So I don't want it so dark I can't see at night when I'm driving. I just want to get some of the sun off of me. But it made a nice good look on it. Reverse lights are factory. I just took some needle nose pliers and ripped out the red plastic stripes that are inside of it. Inside, not much to it. I got a steering wheel I got off of eBay. I've had that steering wheel for like 10 years. It's really awesome steering wheel. It's been on like 4 different cars. NRG hub, NRG seat, the wide, it's awesome. My only gripe is the leg portions here aren't high enough or far enough forward, so my legs do like to kind of flop around, so I still have to brace my knees up against the door and everything when drifting. Nismo shift knob, that's a legit Nismo. I have a collection of shift knobs, so I switch them out when I feel like it. Knockoff Recaro seat with some, I can't remember what seat rails, got them off of Amazon. And the horn button came off of wish.com. It's a knockoff Nismo. I don't think Nismo actually makes those, but it's a nice little upgrade. But mainly factory interior, full interior, AC works. Only piece missing is this piece, and that's because if you look, it interferes with the seat a little bit. I will get a harness bar eventually, put some harnesses in here, because you really shouldn't be driving with the racing seat and factory seat belts. This seat isn't too terrible. Seat rails, I'm using the Buddy Club seat rails. They work really good. Sit very low. I'm pretty much sitting all the way up on them, so it can go extremely low. You can see seat belts all the way down. You can see where the top of the seat is. Gauges are off of Wish. They don't work. They're not hooked up. I was just mocking up where I'm going to put some gauges. That was my idea. Not sure if I want to do gauges or like a Part Shop Max, their little digital readout gauge thing that they have. Broad shift boot off of DND interior, dual stereo. It sucks, don't get it. You get an alternator whine, you cannot get rid of it. Go with like a Pioneer or something. And painted the stuff silver and have some like little flake in it, so whatever. Yeah, pretty much clean interior. Otherwise, factory speakers and stuff like that. Bose system doesn't work, of course. I don't think they ever do. So hopefully this answers all the questions I get about my car on every type of forum and media outlet and stuff like that every time I posted it. You can get these off of Hoonigan's website, by the way. They have different ones. Didn't like the way the license plate panel looked. on them and stuff like that, so I wanted to do something a little different. So yeah. Alright, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope it's very informative. Like I said, I got other videos of stuff if you want to know more about the angle kit. I posted another video detailing that a little bit more and showing that off a little bit more, so you can take a look at that. Also the unboxing, so you can see every little piece that it comes with as well. But that should be pretty much any questions anybody has about this car. So this makes it a little bit easier for me to answer questions and stuff like that anytime that I get them. So hopefully I'll see y'all next time, make another video of something. I did get a nice little camera mount for the car. So when I do drift events, I'll be posting raw in-car footage of drift events and stuff like that. And I've got an app to do the video, so you'll actually get to see like speeds and stuff like that as I'm drifting. So it'll be kind of cool. A lot of people are always interested, even they don't know anything about drifting, they're also interested in stuff like that. So that'll be kind of cool. So I'll catch you guys next time. Please like and subscribe.